Do I just match it up, just take that case?
Right, guys, here we are at the Deadair booth. What I'm seeing, I'm talking about a lot of companies. So I'm seeing kind of a trend. A lot of people are going to the more modular cans. So where you're able to take off the front if you want to go a short configuration. If you want to get a little bit more quiet, go to the longer configuration. And then every company has multiple cans that's going to 3D printed baffles. So I'm going to assume the market is going that way. And then, of course, a lot of these are, I guess they're like the titaniums, Inconel, so they're super, super lightweight. Just a kind of a whole different way from when I started getting into silencers. When I bought my first silencer, everything's steel. Let's take a look at. So even on this one, if we look down in here, we can see that these are 3D printed baffles. We got the Sandman X, so it's kind of one that's been out for a while, but they're doing some upgrades. So I'm going to assume the industry is kind of going that way. Now that there's no tax stamp, we saw, I think it was, I can't remember the name of the other company, where it's $199 for their 22 can. So I think we're going to start seeing a ton of companies coming out. So that means the market's going to be flooding, a lot more competition. So for us, that means hopefully lower prices. It's also going to mean lower quality. So I think I'm still a fan. I think with something like the inexpensive 22 is going to be a nice option to spend less money and put that on something like, let's say, a gun. You may not necessarily shoot a whole lot. And then I'm always probably going to go back to Silence Pros, the Ruggeds, the Deadairs for the high quality, that lifetime warranty on like our precision rifles. So a lot of very cool stuff here.
About 3D printing versus traditional welding. Every time you weld, now you've got an area where you've joined two pieces of metal, and you have a potential critical failure point. When we 3D print, it is all one cohesive unit. There's no welds, there's no junctures, there's no failure points. It's all one piece. And so, generally speaking, and I like to make this a lot, we used to weld this can, where we would take the individual pieces and we'd laser weld them together, and it was great. It was a very, very, very strong can. After we went to 3D printing, the strength rating went up by about 10%. So, generally speaking, what we see is a strength increase by 3D printing.
Very
because
nice.
now we don't have that area where because when you look at can failures, it's going to happen at a weld. I just said weld with like 3 syllables.
That's okay.
Usually, can failures on welded cans are going to happen at a weld, and if they don't have any,
What's the cost difference, let's say, from the manufacturer side between traditional and then 3D printed, and then how does that translate to consumer side?
say that again.
Just the cost difference, is it costing more since it's newer,
really
or is it?
Yeah,
Okay, I got you.
I live in a world of like bringing money into the company, not spending it. So I'm in the commercial sales side of things.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, it's something. It's enabled our engineers who have historically been hamstrung by material limitations, by manufacturing limitations, things like that. And now they can just go hog wild, and now they can't come up with stuff that we can't create. You know, shapes and geometries and stuff like that. That historically we weren't able to create. Now we can. So it's just enabled our manufacturers to do all this crazy stuff.
Very, very cool.
And that's what you're seeing with all this really wild stuff on the market now.
And then, so we do a lot of long-range shooting, bolt-action, ELR stuff. What would you say the go-to can is going to be for something like that, of all the options that you guys offer?
It really just depends on how you want to lay, and how far. Like when you say ELR, you really start to get up in some really big projectiles. So we have like a 33 caliber Novax. I really, really like that can. It's one of my favorites right now. So if you're doing like lat mag, that's really the can we've made for that. when you start talking to Nomaxes, though, they're titanium. They're really made more for a hunting application. And I don't think with any ELR or precision gun, you're really going to run them fast enough to really start to degrade the titanium by any means. But it's something to consider.
Right.
So I think it's just individual users are going to have different cans that they prefer. We do the Nomad series out of a steel as well, a 17-4 stainless as well. It's going to give you a little bit more weight, which for a lot of those applications is a good thing. And then steel is more tolerant of heat than titanium is. And so if you're going to sit there all day and you're one of those guys that's like, I'm going to take 400 rounds to the range and be damned if I'll bring a single one of them home, steel is usually a better material for that guy than titanium is. And so we make the Nomads. We make the Nomad in an L configuration where if you're going to throw it out on a bench, who cares how long your gun is? It's going to be quieter. It's going to be heavier. There's a lot of pros and not a lot of cons for that guy. But if you're going to chase elk up and down a mountain, and we see this on YouTube and stuff like that, where dudes are taking pokes at 760 yards or whatever like that. Well, weight's a very real thing, and we make the same things out of titanium. For those guys, where the can's very, very similar, where the differentiating factor is the materials.
Yeah, I picked this one up earlier, and I'm just like, you get one of these, and you're expecting 2 pounds, maybe, and then you got.
Oh yeah, it's way under a pound.
I was gonna say maybe right at a pound.
Oh no,
so it's less than that. Yeah, it's just incredible.
It barely tips into the double digits as far as ounces go.
Very, very cool.